Alright, so imagine this. The biggest, most luxurious ship ever built sets sail, but just days later, is lying at the bottom of the Atlantic. Yeah, we're talking about the Titanic, the ship that was supposed to be unsinkable. Spoiler alert, it totally wasn't. It's April 10, 1912. The Titanic, the largest and most advanced ocean liner of its time, leaves Southampton, England, headed for New York City. On board are more than 2,200 passengers and crew, wealthy socialites, immigrants dreaming of a new life, and the ship's dedicated staff. The Titanic was advertised as a floating palace, boasting luxury like no other. From first-class suites with private promenades to third-class cabins that were still better than most ships' standard rooms, it was the pinnacle of modern maritime technology. Plus, with its watertight compartments and reinforced hull, it was declared practically unsinkable. But here's where it all goes sideways. The fatal night. It's April 14, 1912, 4 days into the voyage. The night is clear, the water calm. But that's actually part of the problem. No waves means spotting icebergs is nearly impossible. Around 11:40 p.m., lookouts Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee see something terrifying. A massive iceberg straight ahead. Fleet rings the warning bell and shouts, "Iceberg right ahead!" First Officer William Murdoch orders the ship to turn hard to starboard and the engines to reverse. But at over 46,000 tons, the Titanic doesn't exactly turn on a dime. The iceberg scrapes along the starboard side, puncturing the hull. 6 compartments start flooding. And here's the kicker. The ship can stay afloat with 4 flooded compartments, but not 6. Captain Edward Smith realizes the gravity of the situation. He orders distress signals to be sent, but there's a problem. The nearby ship Californian, just a few miles away, doesn't respond. The wireless operator had gone to bed. The sinking begins. Chaos erupts. The ship's designer, Thomas Andrews, calculates there's about 2 hours before the ship is fully submerged. Orders are given to uncover the lifeboats. But here's a brutal fact. There are only 20 lifeboats, enough for about 200 people. And the crew? They're not fully trained on how to load them. Lifeboats are lowered half empty, some with only a dozen passengers. Panic spreads as the bow dips lower. The band, led by Wallace Hartley, plays on deck to calm everyone. Their final song? Most survivors recall it being "Nearer, My God, to Thee." Last moments, by 2:10 a.m., the bow is completely underwater. The stern rises into the sky. Survivors describe a massive roar as the ship's structure breaks. At 2:20 a.m., the Titanic splits in two and the stern crashes back into the water before sinking vertically. Of the 2,200 people on board, over 1,500 perish. Only around 700 survive, mostly women and children, picked up by the RMS Carpathia hours later. And that's where the real controversy starts. Post-sinking scandal. The public is furious. How could the unsinkable ship go down so fast? Investigations reveal a series of failures. The ship was traveling too fast despite iceberg warnings. The lifeboat capacity was based on outdated regulations. The Californian's crew didn't respond despite being within range to help. And White Star Line, the company that owned Titanic, downplayed safety to maximize luxury. Survivors reported the water was so cold that most people who fell in did drown. They froze to death within minutes. Hypothermia was the real killer, the legacy. In the years since, Titanic's story has been told 1,000 different ways, from movies to books to documentaries. But here's a sobering truth. The Titanic didn't sink just because it hit an iceberg. It sank because of hubris, poor planning, and arrogance. The belief that nothing bad could happen to something so grand. Today, the wreck lies about 12,500 feet below the surface, slowly decaying. In 1985, explorer Robert Ballard found it, giving the world its first real glimpse since that fateful night. And that's the true story, the real, cold, heartbreaking truth of how ambition and pride sank the unsinkable.